Well, analysts say that the Indonesian government should use the momentum of the recent Thai election to resolve the Cambodian-Thai border dispute, as Thailand was likely to negotiate with its neighbor under a new government. Foreign Ministry spokesman Michael Tin yesterday said the Indonesian government congratulated Thailand for holding a successful election on Sunday, which Yingluck Shinawat's the Pheu Thai party won by a landslide. He said the government of Indonesia is confident that Thailand will continue to make valuable contributions to the stability and prosperity of the region, including the common endeavors on ASEAN community building, adding the bilateral relations would also be stronger than before. Pheu Thai won 265 of the 500 seats in parliament. The latest election commission's tally showed that Yingluck, who will be Thailand's first female prime minister, said she would form a five-party coalition controlling 299 seats. Analysts said it was the right time for Indonesia, as current chair of ASEAN, to get Thailand and Cambodia to resume negotiations and for Indonesia to place a planned observer team in border areas. Analysts said with the victory of Yingluck, the sister of ousted Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, the ties between Thailand and Cambodia are expected to normalize due to Thaksin's special relations with Phnom Penh. University of Indonesia Southeast Asian's political expert Sesep Hidayat said Cambodian officials have said border conflicts surrounding old temples can be resolved immediately with a new Thai government. The prospect is better now than under Democrat Party rule. Repeated skirmishes have broken out in the Thai-Cambodian border areas in the vicinity of three ancient temples, Prat Vihan, Tamon and Ta Krabur, claiming at least 23 lives on both sides since early this year. The skirmishes were triggered by border disputes between the two countries. Indonesia claims the sending of an observer team is necessary to verify who precipitated the firing, as the two countries accuse each other of firing first. When asked whether Indonesia should use the momentum of the election to send in observers, Sesep said Indonesia should benefit from this situation. Southeast Asian's political expert Priyambudi Sulistianto from the Flinders Asia Center at Flinders University in Australia said Indonesian Foreign Minister Martin Natalegawa should respond quickly and begin talks with Yingluck and the foreign and defense ministers once the new Thai government was formed, as part of efforts to send in an observer team. He said otherwise support for the plan to send observers could be weakened by disruptions from the former ruling party.
Singapore and Vietnam are anticipating more growth in bilateral trade by seeking available opportunities in sectors like healthcare and finance. The two ASEAN nations, represented by Singaporean Minister of Trade and Industry Lim Hong Kiang and Vietnam's Minister of Planning and Investment Vo Hong Phuoc, have accorded a strong trade collaboration at the 7th Vietnam-Singapore Connectivity Ministerial Meeting in Hanoi. Vietnam has been driving to become a modern industrial economy by 2020, and another potential force for the possibility of it is Singaporean companies. The Singaporean investors are actually the second largest in Vietnam, according to the Minister Lim. Considerably profitable areas are healthcare, finance, information technology and telecommunications, transportation and education. Lim added that Vietnam can also leverage on Singapore's expertise in the areas like of quality residential development, integrated townships, and land transport systems as it continues to urbanize. Singapore has already explored the opportunities in the mission of healthcare by providing SMEs medical regulations and effective institutions. For the past year, Singapore businesses have invested a total of $23 billion in 900 projects in Vietnam, and bilateral trade between the two countries has increased. Beyond these, Singapore has also assisted Vietnam in capacity building for its healthcare, education, and transport sectors. The Singapore-Vietnam Connectivity Framework was established in 2005 and has become a key platform for economic cooperation between the two countries.
South Korean Finance Minister revealed that inflation, rising household debt, and troubles in parts of the banking sector are among factors compromising South Korea's rapid economic recovery from the global financial crisis. Ban Jae-won, the finance minister of South Korea, said consumer prices have remained high recently and low-income groups are struggling to make ends meet. Ban spoke after the government announced last week that South Korea's consumer price index rose 4.4% in June from the year before, while so-called core inflation, which strips out volatile agriculture and oil prices, also accelerated to rise 3.7% from the year before. Also late last month, financial regulators announced additional measures to deal with increasing household debt, such as setting up a system for ensuring that banks properly evaluate a borrower's ability to repay before offering a loan and introducing leverage regulations for credit companies. Ban took over as head of the Ministry of Strategy and Finance in early June after President Lee Myung-bak made changes to his cabinet in the wake of the ruling party's defeat in key parliamentary and other local by-elections in late April. Ban moved to the ministry from his previous post as head of the Ministry of Employment and Labor. South Korea's economy, Asia's fourth largest, has grown for 9 straight quarters through the first 3 months of this year after sharply contracting at the end of 2008. And Ban noted that the economy was recovering rapidly and highlighted bright spots in the form of strong exports and growth in new jobs this year. However, the Bank of Korea's monthly survey of consumer sentiment for June found that South Koreans were overall less optimistic compared with the previous month, with sentiment regarding living standards, current domestic economic conditions, and the future all falling. The government late last month revised its outlook for the second half of this year, lowering its 2011 economic growth forecast to 4.5% from the previous of about 5%, and also said annual inflation would likely hit 4%, up from the previous forecast of about 3%. South Korea has also been battling troubles at regional savings bank, 8 which have been shut down this year. Despite expressing concern about the situation in his speech, Ban said later in response to a question that he did not see the problem posing a major risk to the economy.
Well, coming up next, Kuniracha. It was reported that Thaksin Shinawatra will be positioned as a trade ambassador, but Yingluck Shinawatra,
Denied?
she denied it. After the break.